This is a Knish. It's sturdy, warm, travels well. Knishes have deep ties to Ashkenazi Jewish food culture. And this series is about that kind of food. Food that sometimes becomes the taste that people remember from hard times. This is the first in a series called Recipes for Resistance. It's about food that sustains people under pressure, conflict, challenges, and change. It's beautiful. So, let's get started. I'll take you quickly through the ingredients. We've got flour, oil, baking powder, some salt, our potatoes, a large onion, a couple of eggs here, some water we're going to use to make our egg wash with one of the eggs, olive oil, salt and pepper, and I've got some hot water. Well, the first thing we're going to do is get started and make the dough, our pastry. So in goes the baking powder and then the salt. And I'm just going to quickly just stir that together. Now we're starting with the pastry because it has to rest. And so it's our first task. I'm also going to just add the oil all at once. And I'm just going to gently stir that through before adding our hot water. That's done. I think I'll switch to scraper. Scrape that off. There we go. And now I'm going to add our water. Just a bit at a time until it comes together. As soon as that comes together, a little bit more water. We'll turn that out and we'll give it a gentle knead, just until smooth. Doesn't need to be perfect, just smooth. Because we're looking for a dough, a pastry that is strong enough to hold our filling, which is our potatoes and our onions. And now I'll switch to the best tool that everyone has, clean hands. So just pinch that till it comes together. Yeah. Okay. So that goes onto our clean working surface. For this to have enough strength to hold, we'll have to rest it. I'm going to refrigerate it while we do. While it rests. And once it's in the fridge, we'll go on to the filling. And these are really simple ingredients, things you should have on hand, things that are inexpensive, affordable. It keeps it humble. The humble Knish. I'm kidding. So that just come together. That's the consistency I'm after. Just going to push that, flatten it into a disc. Got some plastic wrap, which I'm going to use just to make sure it stays moist and hydrates while we refrigerate it. Okay, that's it. So that's it, and it goes into our fridge. Now it's time to turn to the filling. So I've got some potatoes here, about 2.5 pounds. And I'm just going to peel these and dice them up and set them on to boil. So I'll just go ahead and finish that up. Well, I have chopped up our potatoes. I, of course, peeled and chopped them. Washed them once. They're in cold water. And now I want to add a good couple pinches of salt into that water. And we're going to put those on to boil while we start with our onions. Okay, we will have our onion. Get rid of the peel. And I'm just going to slice those into rings to get ready to go in our pan. Now I'm going to use olive oil to cook these in, but traditionally you would have used schmaltz. What schmaltz, you may ask? It's rendered chicken fat. So it's very typical in a lot of Jewish cooking. Some people might say it's a requirement. I like it. I don't happen to have any to hand, so that's why I'm going to use olive oil instead. So get that ready to go. Got my onions, and I'm just going to slice those very finely to get them ready to go into our pan to cook slowly until they're beautifully golden, deep, rich flavor. We do not want to caramelize these onions because that will make them too big. We just want to do it gently, slow and steady. So I'll just finish these up and then we'll get them on to a hot pan, some olive oil, get them going, pinch of salt, good pinch of salt, and sweat those down. Okay, we've got our onions already sliced. I'm just gonna add a really generous, about 1/4 cup amount of olive oil, schmaltz if you have it. In go our onions and some salt. Always a good pinch of salt. And I'm just going to give those a stir and start them on their way. Already that smell permeates this kitchen. This is going to be really good for a film. So we're starting to just see a little bit of color on that. So I'm going to turn that right down. Because again, do not caramelize them. You want them deep in color, golden. So while these are cooking gently, taking their time, I want to take some time and take you to New York City, 1909. Garment workers pack a meeting at the Cooper Union. The talk goes on, and then a young organizer, Clara Lemnick, cuts through it. She stands up and passionately calls for a general strike. Not later, now. And here's what I think about it. What happened on the night before that next morning? Because a strike isn't just a brave decision, it's also tomorrow morning. It's cold air, long lines, crowds, picket lines, and those bodies have to be fed, not elegantly, but efficiently, in a way that can keep people standing for a while. So I picture those tenements and their little kitchens, coats hung up still damp from the night air, a table that's also the work surface, dust it with flour, pot of potatoes steaming up the windows, and the onions going in a pan of schmaltz, the aroma filling the apartment and the air in a way that says, we might be tired, but we're not done. Women who've already worked all day are still peeling, mashing, and stirring. Not because it's poetic, but because tomorrow's coming and people will need to be fed. You know, maybe there's some kids nearby watching like it's a miracle. Pocket-sized Knishes, just cooling there, slightly out of reach, waiting for the morning. So late in 1909, the shirtwaist, that's blouses to you and me, the shirtwaist strike explodes into what's called the Uprising of the 20,000, led largely by women, young women, including many Jewish immigrant women, often Yiddish-speaking Ashkenazi Jews, organizing anyway after long shifts in a city that didn't make it easy. Now, I'm not claiming that Knishes were the official meal of that strike. What I am saying is this is the food that they knew, and it's the kind of food that makes long days possible. It's portable, filling, and it can be made in batches. Okay, our potatoes are soft and they've drained. I've allowed them to steam a bit. Our onions have got that deep golden color, which bodes well for flavor. So we want to get these potatoes out, well drained now, and we're just going to mash them up. Just get them nicely mashed up before adding in our onion. It's looking pretty good. Let's turn off our onions. Let's get that, all that good potato off our masher. And now, oh, that's looking really good. Now, in go our onions, along with any fat. So, I'm just going to mix that together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in the big glass bowl we had. Goes out. Because these need to cool. These really need to cool completely before we start filling the pastry, because hot filling and cool pastry will make a mess, and that's something we really don't want. Oh, I wish you could smell the kitchen. It really is great. All right. So just get that all together. And this is the point we want to season. Get some salt and some cracked black pepper. You do this to taste. Let's just have a taste now. Needs a bit more salt. Oh, that's good. That is good. Okay, so we'll just give these time to cool. We'll get our pastry from its resting place in the fridge. We'll roll it out and we'll make some knishes. And now a somber note while the filling cools. I'm sharing this because it needs to be remembered. After that strike, in 1911, the Triangle Shirtwaist factory caught fire. The fire swept through the 8th, 9th, and 10th floors of the building, killing 146 workers, mostly young women. It was preventable, it was avoidable, and in many ways predictable. If there's good that came out of it, it was that event raised public awareness and pressure for stronger workplace safety, especially for women and children. And you have to remember at the time that some of the workers were children, very young, and they were placed in danger. So those changes are due to the bravery of women, the tragedy of loss of women in the workplace, and it's a legacy that has shaped today for the better. Okay, our filling has chilled, so now it's time to roll out our pastry and make our knishes. So I am going to take about half of the amount of pastry dough that we have. And by the way, I did remember to add the egg. I did it off camera, and I did add it. Nearly had a mess, but I didn't. So, just gonna dust staff and my pen. Give myself a little room, and I'll start to roll this into a rectangle. And you want the pastry fairly thin. It starts to spring back. Just leave it and let it rest a few minutes. You see how that's pulling back? So I'll just give that a few minutes to rest, and then we'll finish rolling it out. Okay, that's rested. I've stretched that a little more. Just rub it with a little flour lightly. Just want to make sure we get this as close to a rectangular form as we can. So I've got a little egg wash here that we're going to use not only to seal our pastries, but also to brush our knishes before they go into our hot oven. It's 200 degrees Celsius, 400 Fahrenheit, and we'll cook those until they're beautiful and brown. We're just going to put our cool filling now onto our pastry. Now, as I said, this is half of the pastry we made, and that's enough to give us the first of our knishes. And I'm keeping that about an inch from the bottom, and about the same from the ends. Okay. That looks pretty good to me. shape that just a little bit. And then what we're going to do is bring our pastry edge up and over. I'm going to fold that end in slightly, not all the way, but just to keep it from slipping out. And there, and pull it towards me a bit, and to get that nice and taut. And what I'm going to do is just cut off some of that pastry. Don't need all of it. Take a bit of our egg wash and just brush that edge. Okay, and I'm just going to seal that up. Give it a little pinch, just to make sure it doesn't come apart. Okay, seam side down. And this is the genius. Flour my hands. So my tray. And I've got this parchment lined tray and it has olive oil on it. Now I'm just going to use the side of my hand and just cut my Knish. And I'll pinch the top together. Bottom is already sealed on that one. Into my tray it goes into the oil. And I'm just going to push it down a bit. And I'm going to brush the top with our egg wash. And we're just going to repeat that all the way along. See, pinching that closed, bottom into the oil, pressing it down, brushing it with some of our egg wash. And repeat. So that is how we're going to make our Knishes. And once this tray is filled, I will pop them into our hot oven. It's time to take the first of our Knishes out of the oven. Oh, they really look great. Just fantastic when you smell the onion coming through. This is the part that resistance plays for me. Big moments of change are built on quiet, repeated work. People organizing after a shift. People showing up again and again. People feeding each other so that they can keep showing up. And women were not on the sidelines of that story. They were at the heart of it. All of our Knishes are out of the oven. I've got them here to cool, so we'll have to wait for a bit. And honestly, that's part of it too. You do today what you can to support you tomorrow. So as soon as these are cool, we'll give it a taste. I mean, they're beautiful, golden, smells absolutely amazing. And I'm looking forward to it. They've cooled. Look at that. Golden, beautiful crust, potato, onion. That's honest food. Get the cut. Oh. Okay, I'm going to give this a taste. Pastry is light, flaky, delicious. The filling is perfectly seasoned, as it should be. Warm, delicious. So, I guess that's the lesson. That people attach memory to food that supported them through hard times. Traditions, honest food, things that sustain them. And on this International Women's Day, this is my tribute to those women in the uprising of 20,000. I give you the humble Knish. Well, thank you for joining me today at Gary's Urban Larder. If you enjoyed today's recipe, please give us a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to the channel, it's free. And ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single delicious recipe. And finally, please share this video with your friends. It does help make the community grow. And if you see a hype button, please hype me. Until next time, bye-bye. Got some granny mustard too. Let's try a little of that. Oh yeah. Wonderful.